Podcast Envy presents Tim and Bacon Cruisin'. Your hosts, Tim and Bacon.
Hey, Tim.
Welcome to Cruisin'?
Yeah, man. We're cruising.
To where?
We're not cruising to anywhere.
Oh, okay.
But our usual number 3, Brian, he's on a cruise.
He is.
Yeah, and I wanted to get a podcast out. So
Yeah.
here we are. We're doing a special not podcast envy.
He's cruising
podcast.
in Alaska.
He is cruising in Alaska.
I wonder what the temperatures are. I have to imagine that, like, Alaska's is 60s?
53 right now. It's 4 p.m. there. It's 53.
4 p.m.
Yeah.
They're 4 hours?
Yeah, guess so.
Okay.
But their highs are in like the low to mid 50s for the rest of the week.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So not a hot beachy vacation, more of a bundle up and hope it doesn't rain.
Yeah.
But I hope he's having a good time. With
Very
the fam.
picturesque, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Pictures galore when he
He
comes
better
back.
show, he better show us some pictures.
We expect it.
Could we do a slideshow?
Yeah.
Like, have like a slideshow and, okay, cool.
Yeah, I could put up a little box and have him.
And then could we Photoshop you and me in there?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, this is me and Courtney behind this old volcano. It's really cool. And look at the clouds. And it's like you and me are in the back, like,
Hey, we were here too.
yeah. It'd be funny if like you're like, hey man, just send me pictures from the vacation. And then he's like, oh yeah, it's cool. And then like we go to show him and it's got us in him. He's like, what did you do to the pictures?
That's awesome.
Yeah. And if we ate sandwiches while we looked at them.
Yeah, absolutely.
cool.
Got to eat the sandwiches, especially the ones that Brian made for himself that I eat. Those are the best kind.
Yeah.
So what you been up to lately, Tim?
Dude, we had a fun hangout the other night,
We
didn't we?
certainly did. We did.
We went to see my brother and Carrie play at Makers Union
Yep.
over there in South Riding.
We did.
So that was cool.
They were great.
They got to play outside. We couldn't have asked for and they couldn't. You know what? Anybody couldn't have asked for a better night.
Yeah, it was
It
great
was
weather.
gorgeous outside. And then, and then you got to hang out with my parents too.
Yeah,
They showed up.
That was a surprise.
I know.
Loved it,
I
though.
was surprised too.
Yeah, they were great. I love talking to your parents. They're
Yeah.
so much fun.
And then, so Chris and Carrie sounded great. We stayed for a couple sets and then we went down the street to Crossroads and we got to see Tunnel's End. That was my first Tunnel's End show.
Yeah, it was a great show. Pretty decent crowd.
Yeah.
They sounded great.
Yep.
Actually, I got some video.
You do?
I do. Yeah. So that was a little clip.
I tell you, I saw, did you see like in the first couple clips, Brian's like dancing in the background?
Oh, yeah.
Why does he not dance like that with us?
We should ask him that next time we see him.
He's like jamming out, having a good time.
Yep.
I feel like he's very, very just stoic.
He's a statue
Yeah.
when it's us.
All right, we got to loosen him up a little bit.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we got some shows coming up this summer.
We do.
Radio Envy's playing,
Yeah.
and we're going to get Brian dancing.
I think we should.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. I think you should. I think we should trick him into dancing somehow.
We should.
We have to figure out how to do that.
Yeah. We got to just actually, send him out into the crowd like I do.
Yeah.
And that'll get him going.
Shake his tush with a tambourine.
I think that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
I thought that, it was my first show of Tunnel's End. And, it was long overdue, to be honest, but I was impressed.
Yeah.
Guitar playing on point. They were so good.
Yeah.
The vocals by Brian were great.
Fantastic.
Loved it. Even the harmonies he threw in on the songs he wasn't leading were on point. And they played one of my favorite Michael Jackson songs.
They did.
I mean, I was blown away. Black or White was fantastic.
It was really tight too. Yeah.
So well done. So props to him. Props to them. They sounded really good.
Yeah.
It was a fun show. We stayed for like a set and a half, almost 2 sets.
Yep.
Because they were playing till like 1 a.m.
Yeah. Tim
and-
turns into a pumpkin
I do.
after 11.
I do.
Doesn't
So-
even get midnight. He
Yeah.
has 11.
So I was starting to turn orange, and Bacon's like, Timmy, we got to go. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm having a blast. He's like, no, you got to go. I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
He dropped into your little pumpkin chariot.
Yeah, we scooted away. But no, it was a good time. That was a lot of fun, and we got to see the boys. And Brian was excited to see us. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a first for me. I'm excited to see.
Stop it. That was fun. It was great. It was
absolutely.
good to see everybody. So that was our Saturday night. It was a blast.
Yeah. It was like a reunion
It was.
of the podcast envy universe.
Yeah, podcast and radio envy universe,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
Oh man, that was cool. That was a lot of fun. I was tired though. I sound so old. God bless, but yeah.
Oh man, speaking of getting old,
Yeah.
so I've buzzed my hair for most of my life.
Okay.
But recently I've grown it out, and one of the most difficult things I think as a man is to find a hair cutter, a salon artist, or barber that just does your hair right, like gets it right every time, or at least close to right. That's been my biggest struggle with my hair, is just getting to a place. It's like people that I go to seem like they've never cut men's hair before. It's so frustrating, and it's like,
Or it's like they only do it in like a couple different styles, and that's all they do.
Yeah. So I went in I was way overdue for a haircut. So I went in on Friday, and the woman came up to me and introduced herself, and brought me over to the chair, and she kind of asked me. She didn't really. Her English was very broken English. I think she was French. I think that's kind of like the vibe I got from the accent and the way she presented herself.
Oui.
She was great, very friendly and nice. I kind of explained, trim, just same thing, just trim, I'll spare you the details of my instruction, but it was pretty basic. So she says, okay. And she starts cutting, and she gives me advice on, I think you're asking for too short on the sides, so I'm going to go up a little bit. And I was like, fine, whatever. And then she finished, and it didn't take very long. She mostly just kind of trimmed up the sides and did a couple snips on top. And then she slicked back my hair, which is not my hairstyle.
Right.
And my hair is combed over to the side.
You were doing a little grease lightning.
Yeah. And she kind of puffs it up with her fingers.
But Sandy.
So she's puts her fingers through it, and she goes, what do you think? And I look in the mirror, and it's as if you're standing at the entrance of a forest and you see a clearing in the distance,
I laugh because I can relate.
And you could see straight through the clearing. And I didn't really know how to explain to her, effectively communicate with her what I wanted. So I was like, oh, it's fine, whatever. And then, of course, the haircut is $35 plus tip. I don't know where that came from, but that's been a recent spike in cost of services and goods.
Yeah.
And I walked out, and I was like, oh, man, well, everybody can see my bald spot. So I'm going to run home and see if I can fix this. And I got home, and I was like, I can just fix it by combing it over and, doing it the right. And just the way she cut it, it doesn't look right when you comb it over to the side. And it just ended up not being good. And I was like, I can't walk around with this haircut.
Wait, so what did you do?
I shaved all my hair off.
What?
I had to. There was no way.
Because you were growing it out. You were like, hey, this is feeling good.
Yeah. And that's kind of how I wanted my hair to be.
It's
from
gone
now until it was time to shave it because I'm too bald.
Oh, boy.
But yeah.
So what are you going to do? You're going to start all over again or what?
I don't know, man. Maybe. It's summertime, so I might buzz it during the summertime and then grow it again as it gets closer to fall. I don't know.
And they tell you that wearing a hat negatively affects your hair growth.
Really?
So I'm not doing myself any favors by wearing a hat, but in the same sense, I'm doing myself a favor of covering up what I have left.
So the person behind you doesn't go blind, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that was loud. Sorry. I just want to emphasize that drum roll there.
You did. We all can't be like Brian, who's got the
Long
locks.
locks. Yeah.
Although that picture I showed today, did you see that? I texted that.
I
That
did see
was
that
the Facebook memory.
Yeah, I'll put it right
from
here.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
Crazy how short his hair was.
Yeah. It was also crazy how skinny I was.
Stop it. Is that why you didn't like the photo?
Yeah, I was like, oh, look at that handsome guy.
You're like, damn it, Tim.
Why do you remind me of my youth?
You're welcome. But and I think I was wearing a hat in that picture too.
Yeah,
I think
you
that was
were.
Philly Tavern.
It looks like
that
it.
picture. Yeah.
Breaking news.
Hey,
Oh, okay.
we're talking sports.
Yeah, Phillies are playing better.
Yeah.
We're over 500 now, right?
Yeah, we are 5 games over 500.
Nice. See?
Yeah.
Something to
And-
be excited about. You're back in the wild card race. Now, I don't know if anybody's going to catch the Braves.
Oh man, unless something happens to their lineup, between now and then, as far as injuries or something, yeah, they're by far. I'd be curious to see who's going to win against them and the Dodgers. I'm not sure if they've played yet
I
or
don't
not.
think
but
so.
I'd love to see who wins.
Yeah, that'd be a fun series. All right, so I got a couple Phillies questions for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so the All-Star game
Yeah.
is in Philadelphia this
It
year.
is. Yeah.
Who is your Phillies All-Star so far this season?
I'm torn. If I only can pick one, I would say pitching. Sanchez, obviously, he just went 50 innings scoreless, breaking some records there.
Anytime you pass Bob Gibson, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done.
Yep.
And I think it's the longest scoreless streak by a left-handed pitcher.
Yep.
I
It is
believe.
indeed.
Yes.
Yeah. But if we're talking about batting averages and like fielding, I'd say Brandon Marsh.
He's been a nice surprise for you guys.
He really has been. He's hitting well over 300 this season. He's been knocking home run after home run, game after game.
Yeah.
It's been really great to see him really playing well.
Okay.
And Bryce Harper and Freddie Freeman, from what I read, their numbers are pretty similar. So toss up.
Yeah. I believe you said earlier in the year he was washed up. Do
Yeah.
you take that back formally on the podcast?
On the record. Washed up is probably too harsh.
Oh, okay.
So I would like to retract washed up.
Okay.
Something with a negative connotation, perhaps. Not as good as previous years. It's kind of been.
The Toby Keith, not as good as I once was.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
15 home runs, and he's a pretty solid first baseman. He's been getting some doubles and getting some RBIs, so that's all good. But 2022 was the season.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like just the same with Castellanos. I mean, he was a Philly, went to the Padres. They had a game in Philly last week, and they DFA'd him or
Yeah.
whatever on the first day. They were back in Philly.
That's right. Yep. What a homecoming.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's harsh. Castellanos, the 22, had a huge Red October run.
He did.
But he hasn't really been the same since then either. 2022 was a magical year in Philadelphia.
It was.
Speaking of pitching, you're a baseball coach. Let me ask you your opinion on this.
Okay.
The other day, Andrew Painter for the Phillies started, and it was first inning. He gave up 6 runs.
He did. He's a rookie.
Yeah, he's a rookie. It's his first. It hasn't been. He played in a little bit last year, but this is like this first really big baseball opportunity. He's just not doing it, man. He just does not have the confidence. He's not an attack pitcher. He seems like he's kind of on his back heel a lot. And I just wonder, like from a coach's perspective, like leaving somebody in there that's just bombing, like that's got to be terrible for their confidence. So why do you continue to let them in there? Like I understand they need to learn the ins and outs, learn how to get out of situations, but 6 runs in the first inning, that's something.
Yeah, that's rough. And look, I'm honored that you refer to me as a coach, right?
Coach Tim.
I coach Little League, but yes, I do have some baseball knowledge, and I think there's 2 schools of thought, right? He's a rookie, so he's going to take his licks, right? There's not always going to be perfect, and I think you leave him in the game if you want to see how he recovers himself, right?
Okay.
How he manages himself, because you can learn a lot about somebody when things aren't going well,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
I mean, it's a way of quote unquote building character. That how do they get out of the inning, right? Do they pitch around? Do they stick with what works, or are they trying something new? Do they change their do they change anything with their pitching motion? You can notice tendencies of, hey, it's all, I guess what it boils down to, it's all a learning process. Now I've seen other situations where they have like what's called an opener, where they have a relief pitcher come in and pitch the first inning or so, and then you bring in your rookie pitcher. That way there's not that pressure of I'm starting the game.
Yeah.
But I can see that. I can also see you could kill his confidence by taking him out and, saying that was terrible. You go sit down and think about what you just did. Right.
Sure.
So it's kind of two schools of thoughts of thought. And, it's really just up to the manager understanding what they are trying to get out of the player.
Yeah, that's fair. It's funny. I was into baseball as a kid, but like I'm more into it now than I was when I was a kid. And, it's something that's, I think, more than any other sport, baseball gives grace to the players to fix or improve before they just dump them. Because, like, there's some players in the Phillies that have not been producing until recently, and now they're coming out of it. Now they're starting to hit home runs and doubles, like all the time. And it's like they just have to wait for the slump to be over, kind of thing.
It's a game of failure. Yeah, I mean, the greatest players fail 7 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And they're batting 300.
Yeah.
And in this day and age, just batting, 250 is cool.
Yeah.
Or 220.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that, it's a game of failure and how you overcome it. And sometimes it just takes a little bit to get it right.
Yeah.
That's the hard part about coaching these little kids is, teaching them about that, they're of this generation that they're always succeeding, right? Yeah. I think I saw somebody on social media say that we had the better generation because we had the video games where if you died, you started back at the beginning.
Right.
There was no like, oh, I made it this far in the level and I've got 3, these power-ups that my mom paid for, that I was able to get through it. So this generation is used to having whatever it is to get them to the next level. And I think what's hard is, teaching these kids like, hey, this is how you have to do it, right? You have to look internally and figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a hard lesson, man.
It is, especially for 9-year-olds.
Oh man.
Okay. Well, that was our sports minute.
Woohoo. I'll have to come up with a tag for that.
Yeah. We'll come up with something.
Do you want me to play the different versions of same name, or do you want to?
You were telling me about this.
Yeah.
So, and I noticed it on the Mackenzie podcast.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Ryan's podcast where, so Bacon's got his game called Same Name. Mm-hmm. And it's in the past, it'd be like, hey, do you want to play Same Name? Yeah. Okay. So you have your name of this. So what Bacon's done is he's added an intro to Same Name, which is awesome. But what are the other options that we had for Same Name?
I wanted to get a couple different versions. I wanted to do something from rock. I wanted to do something, big band. So I have a bunch of different versions of the song.
Okay. So play the version you picked for Max. Can you do that one first, or you just want to go down the list?
I can do that one name. All right. So here's the version that we had for. And mind you, the version we're using is kind of cut in the middle. I kind of cut it in half and used the last end of it, but this is the full version of the song. I composed and wrote this song all by myself.
Okay.
Since you have the same name as something else insane, we're gonna ask you 3 times, do you know or deny that you have the same name? And now we'll play the
So that was the one I used for the Mac episode.
All right. Give me some other options. Give me some other ones.
All right. So if you like 2000s, or you know what, we're going to do the sitcom intro. Here's the sitcom intro.
Okay.
Since you have the same name as something else insane, we're gonna ask you 3 times, do you know or deny that you have the same name? And now we'll play the game.
I love it. And this is all AI?
Yeah, this is all AI. It's like, I'm not using it in a way that like, I'm going to make a song and like publish it. It's just some dumb, goofy shit that I'm doing.
Yeah. That's so good.
Yeah. Here's a hair metal version.
Since you have the same name as something else insane, we're gonna ask you 3 times, do you know or deny
Oh, I love that.
Hell yeah, dude.
I love the ending. That is my favorite so far with the ending.
You want to hear the country version?
Sure.
Since you have the same name as something else insane, we're gonna ask you 3 times, do you know or deny that you have the same name? And now we'll play the game. Since you have the same name as something else insane, we're gonna ask you 3 times, do you know or deny that you have the same name? And now we'll play the game.
Yoo-hoo!
And then last one. This is the singer-songwriter.
Since you have the same name as something else insane, we're gonna ask you 3 times, do you know or deny that you have the same name? And now we'll play the game. Since you have the same name as something else.
My favorite part about that is for whatever reason it decided to do it 2 times
Yeah.
in a row.
Well, it's because it's the singer-songwriter one. You
that's
got to
right.
extend it out.
You're right.
Yeah.
You do have to make your album at least 50 minutes long.
I feel like I was watching an old episode of Scrubs or something. Yeah. When they get serious.
You like Ozzy? This is like Anthrax or something.
It
like
is.
that.
Same name, and now we'll play the game. Oh, and now we'll play the game.
Love it.
You know, since we're playing the theme,
Yeah.
we might as well play the game.
Oh, no. Do you have it for me?
Yes, I do.
Oh, boy. Okay.
The Tim Campbell version.
Oh, boy. I can
same
only
name.
imagine.
All right, Tim.
These flavors of Campbell soup
So you
have been discontinued.
you know that it's going to be about Campbell soup.
That's right.
All right. Well, the idea is simple. We found something famous that shares your name, and it's Campbell's Soup Company.
I love it.
All right. So, question number 1: what was Campbell's first soup flavor? Was it A, chicken noodle deluxe, B, beefsteak tomato, or C, cream of turnip surprise?
Oh, boy. Jeez. I mean, chicken noodle would be too obvious. I'm going to go with, was the second one the tomato?
Yeah, beefsteak tomato.
I'll go with that.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Beefsteak tomato. Long before Campbell's was warming sick days in office microwaves everywhere, it was out there betting on. It was out there betting the farm on tomatoes.
There you go.
Yeah. Question number 2. Why is Campbell's soup considered art world famous, not just grocery store famous? Is
Okay.
it A, the Louvre once declared tomato soup the official lunch of modernism? B, a famous artist turned Campbell's soup cans into one of pop art's most famous works in 1962? Or C, Campbell's once installed an art installation in Chicago called Green Bean Casserole, showing off their cream of mushroom flavor?
I'm going to go with B.
The correct answer is B. Andy Warhol made Campbell's soup cans famous in 1962 with 32 panels based on the soup varieties on store shelves.
Nice. I think I still have like a thermos. I have a thermos that has like Campbell soup on it.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Cool
But yeah,
story.
it's popular. Yeah, thanks. Thanks. Okay.
Question number 3. Which classic Campbell's soup was first introduced in 1934? A, chicken noodle. B, a loaded baked potato. Or C, chili mac.
This time I'll go with the chicken noodle.
That's correct. Chicken noodle originally introduced in 1934 as noodle soup with chicken.
That wraps up.
Since you have the same name as something else insane, we're gonna ask you 3 times. Do you know or deny that you have the same name? And now we'll play the game.
One more time.
Yeah.
Same name as something else insane. We're gonna ask you 3 times.
Breaking news.
Ooh. We've got all the new stuff coming in. This is
He
great.
was so excited about that.
Let's have some breaking news.
He sounds like he's enjoying it way too much.
Breaking news.
Oh, sorry.
Oh man, that's so
That
good.
just tickled me. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So, there is some news. Billboard's 2026 release calendar notes that Megadeth are preparing what Dave Mustaine is calling the band's final album. Positioned as a farewell statement for the thrash legends, the write-up also mentions a bonus track featuring Metallica making a huge story for rock fans given the long, messy Metallica-Megadeth history.
I wasn't aware that they had a history.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Dave Mustaine wanted to be in Metallica,
Okay.
and that's something that he never really got over. So he said, well, the Metallica was like, no, we'll go a different direction. And he was like, fine, I'll just create my own band.
Yeah.
And now he's got Megadeth.
Interesting.
And, he made his money, so good
Yeah.
for him. But yeah.
What would you say is like a big hit for Megadeth? What would you be able to play that's like, oh, okay, all right.
Probably Symphony of Destruction would probably
Okay.
be my... Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, it's what's funny is they kind of have a Metallica-like sound to them.
They do.
Interesting.
Evanescence is returning with a new album called Sanctuary.
I heard about that.
New Evanescence record called Sanctuary is due June 5th. They're on BMG, the music label BMG. I didn't know they were still around.
Yeah.
It's just like Capitol Records, and they're expecting there's a little bit of pressure on Evanescence with this song because they're like saying that this might be part of a comeback of that kind of music that might be happening again.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Some people would say don't call it a comeback. There you
go. Okay, LL. Yeah, it'll be interesting because, and I can bring this up when we talk about summer songs, but I feel like we're kind of in a lull right now in music. That I feel like there's an open space for somebody to jump in and either, hey, bring us back to,
Yeah.
or just, something new, something fresh.
Yeah.
But it's very stale in my opinion. So I think it's a perfect time.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear what it sounds like.
Do you want to talk about songs of the summer?
We can talk about the songs of the summer. We've done this segment for quite some time. And this actually was probably one of the more difficult years for me to come up with Song of the Summer for just what we talked about, because I was like, I was going through the stuff that's new, stuff that I'm hearing on the radio. And I'm like, it's either, well, this isn't really like summertime song, or this is not old, but like this isn't fresh, this isn't new,
It's already played out.
right? And like when I think of like Song of the Summer, it's like, hey, roll the windows down, we're jamming out, this is a good time. Do you have predictions, Bacon?
I have a couple of songs that I'll throw out there that I think are in the running for Song of the Summer.
Okay. And then you were talking about you were reading some list. Somebody, had a list of what they thought.
Yeah, Spotify and actually iHeartRadio did the same thing.
Okay.
Put out their lists for Song of the Summer. A lot of crossover. A lot of them had the same songs.
All right. So my predictions for Song of the Summer. I have a couple, right?
Okay.
So one of them, I almost feel like I'm cheating because I had this artist for last year for Song of the Summer. his song "Happened to Me" was one of the biggest hits of last summer. His name's Russell Dickerson. He has a song that is called "Boots," featuring Fetty Wap.
Singing like a June sunset. She had my head spinning like she was spinning all in them B-double-O-T-S, yeah. All in them B-double-O-T-S, yeah. Let's have a G-double-O-D-T-I-M-E. I've been around the world, girl.
They spell a lot.
They do. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good.
That's a good one.
Nominee.
Yep. Another one I have, it's called Baby Doll.
Okay, Baby Doll. That's by Dominic Feek.
Yep.
I'll take it all, baby doll. Whatever's been weighing you down.
Very chill.
Yeah, that is
Cool.
really chill.
Find me on Miami concrete, looking for somebody different 'cause my dad.
But it doesn't really seem very anthemic.
No,
you know?
no. And Bacon, I brought it up earlier that I think we're kind of in a lull with music.
Yeah.
It'd be a great time for a song to go viral that's really, it just puts you in the summer mood, the summer vibes. Some people confuse the name, and that's the one thing that kind of bothers me. But they call it cruising. But man, you know what a better name for it is?
What's that?
Coastin'.
Coasting, gone for the day. Cruising speed set for Ocean Highway. I'm coasting before it's too late. Sugar sweet sand is calling my name. I'm coasting.
That feels really beachy.
No better time than the summer of 2026 for this song to finally go viral as it should. If you're listening to this podcast and you have not heard Coastin' by Radio by Radio Envy, you need to check it out.
Absolutely.
And let's put a dance to it, because that's how things go viral.
That's right.
We'll put a dance to it. Maybe we'll try out a dance on the podcast.
Hey, sign me up for
If
that.
that makes it go viral, then so be it.
I have to get me a visor.
A Titleist
That's
one?
right, a Titleist one.
Anyway, no better time for this song to go viral. So, ladies and gentlemen, get out your phones. Look up Radio Envy. Watch the YouTube video. Get it on your Spotify. However you stream music, check out Radio Envy. Coastin'. Damn it. Coastin'!
Sorry, I always get them confused.
Those are my choices, man. Those are my options.
There's good.
What about you?
There's one song that I think could be in a top contender for a song of the summer.
Okay.
It's somebody that you introduced to us during your T5 segment a couple of weeks ago.
That is a great segment. If you haven't heard it, check out previous episodes and check out our next one.
That's right. Man I Need.
Oh, yeah.
By Olivia Dean.
Already gave you the time and the place, so don't be shy. Just come be the man
I like the vibes.
It's good vibes. I do like that song a lot.
Yeah.
Another one in my list, Boston by Stella Lefty.
Great song.
And of the things I used to know, I hate to admit it, but I guess I'm not better alone. On a train back to Boston, and we're jumping the gun, and I'm telling you, baby, this the part where I'd run, but I like it when you're nice, like it when you're nice to me. I don't know.
Another song that I would like to add just because I got it like that.
Okay.
This is Charlie Puth.
Aren't always free. What change? I know you were in it. Oh, it hurts how you no longer look at me now. It seems so strange, I'll admit it. Something like loving at all. Love from the coming home. You were the best I ever known.
Such a jam.
It really is a good song.
I feel like that one was a T5 at one point.
It was.
Yeah.
It certainly was.
And I think I did say this was going to be your song of the summer.
yeah. I think you did say
Check,
that. Yeah.
check the tapes, but I think
Roll it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That goes back to like I think we're rolling with like a chillin' theme this year. And I think that's another good nominee, Bacon.
You know, I got to say one thing, though, about these songs of the summer have been pretty chill. They're not very anthemic.
No, they're not.
When I think of Song of the Summer, a lot of times my brain goes right to this song. Here we go.
Woo!
Just seeing the people dance
Man.
to that song, whew, I'll tell you.
That's the most I've worked out in a while. That's
is.
great.
I bore witness to Tim's first workout of the summer.
I love it. I'm looking forward to the next couple months, though.
Me too.
Not just to see if I'm right with Songs of the Summer, but also Radio Envy's got some shows coming up.
We do got some shows coming up.
We do. So we're going to be,
We gonna be down to beach.
yeah, we going to be at the beach twice.
Twice.
That's right. So June 26th
Yep.
and August 15th, we'll be at the beach. We'll be at Dewey Beach at the Rusty Rudder. So if you want to come out and hang out at the beach with your boys,
Yeah.
you should come out.
What time are we playing at Rusty Rudder that day? Is it 2 p.m.?
Ooh. August 15th, we're at 2 p.m. We're an afternoon show.
Okay.
5:30 to 8:30 on June 26th. It's a Friday. Come kick off your weekend with Radio Envy. That'll be
yeah.
a lot of fun. Then after that, July 31st, we're going to be playing at In Between Makers and Milk and Honey
Yeah.
for their summer concert series.
Seascape Marketplace in Chantilly.
That's right. We're at Jimmy's Old Town Tavern on August 2nd.
That's right.
So that'll be a fun weekend of Radio Envy. So yeah, so we've got some shows coming up this summer. That's going to be a lot of fun. I just love playing with you boys. I think watching my brother and Carrie play was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then watching Brian play with Tunnel's End, you get the itch. You miss it.
Yeah. Big time.
Just the act of just getting out there and entertaining people.
Yeah.
It just is so much fun.
Oh, by the way, did you know Dua Lipa got married?
What?
Yeah.
Who was she engaged to?
Some guy.
Oh, it's like a rando. It wasn't like a celebrity?
No, it wasn't a celebrity. I don't
So,
think
like,
so. I don't think.
you had a chance?
I did.
Like, she
Can you
didn't go
believe
to
it?
like, just like, I love how we're transitioning to this.
Sorry,
but
I didn't mean to
No, I
disagree.
think it's fine. But, so like, cause like Dua Lipa is and was your girl. And the fact that she did not go with another celebrity, Bacon,
Yeah.
you missed your opportunity.
Actually, I'm sorry. He is an actor.
Oh, well, you're an actor too on a podcast.
That's right. I play myself.
That's right.
So, like in the '90s, there was a kind of like a throwback to like, kind of almost big band, so like bands like Real Big Fish and ska. But there was also like Red Hot, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
Yes.
That's who I was thinking of. The Big Bad Voodoo Daddy and a couple of other bands that kind of had like a big band sound. So it's not the first time we harkened back to an earlier era.
But even like Ricky Martin had more horns and stuff in
That's true.
in his songs. But yeah, who sang "Sell Out"?
That was Real Big Fish.
Real Big Fish.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great song. The record company's gonna give me lots of money and everything's gonna be all right.
Hell yeah, that's one of the greatest songs of my teenage years.
That was perfect. Oh, what a song. It doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't matter anymore.
You're gonna go to the record store. You're gonna give them all your money. Radio
Plays what they want you to hear.
Tell me it's cool.
What about Zoot Suit Riot? Zoot Suit Riot.
Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
There we go.
That might have been the one I was thinking about
Yeah.
the first time.
Throw back a bottle of beer. Zoot Suit Riot.
You best stay away when the pushers come to shove.
Zoot Suit Riot. Riot. Throw back a bottle of beer. Zoot Suit Riot. Riot.
Pull it home through your cold black hair. Zoot Suit Riot.
Riot.
Throw back a bottle of beer. Zoot Suit Riot.
Man, now you're making me think of other bands like that were out during that time.
Yeah.
Save Ferris. Do you remember them?
Our mothers used to sing along.
This is a
Who's
cover they did.
letting them?
Yeah.
You're grown, so grown. Now I must say more than ever.
I wonder how much Dexy's Midnight Runners made off of this.
I know, right?
Yeah, I've heard this version.
We could sing just like our father.
I feel like this was in like American Pie soundtrack or
It was
something.
in something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my gosh, dude, that's taking me back. That's so cool.
You cannot forget. One of my favorite bands from this time.
Really?
Yeah.
Take this pink ribbon off my eye.
No doubt about it. But no, I feel like the more of these 90s songs that we keep playing in our shows, you know, maybe people will want to go back to that kind of sound.
Yeah. We need to come up with a clever way to sign off.
Hey, Bacon,
Hey.
just play that outro.
Cruising is a presentation of Podcast Envy. This episode was edited and engineered by Michael Bacon. Audio and video production by Bacon Wave Podcast Productions.